Hello, I'm Stan Webster, walking with you along Rocky Fork Creek in Flag Pond, Tennessee, meditating on scriptures that come to mind. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. Psalm 65, Thou visitest the earth and waterest it. Thou greatly enriches it. The river of God is full of water. Thou providest their grain, for so thou hast prepared it. Thou waterest its furrows abundantly, settling its ridges, softening it with showers and blessing its growth. Thou crownest the year with thy bounty. The tracks of thy chariot drip with fatness. The pastures of the wilderness drip. The hills gird themselves with joy. Psalm 104. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Thou didst set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be shaken. Thou didst cover it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the sound of thy thunder they took to flight. The mountains rose, the valleys sank down to the place which thou didst appoint for them. Thou didst set a bound which they should not pass, so that they might not again cover the earth. Thou makest springs gush forth in the valleys. They flow between the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. By them the birds of the air have their habitation. They sing among the branches. In an unpredictable world, God is our help. In the sight of their fathers, he wrought marvels in the land of Egypt. He divided the sea and let them pass through it, and made the waters stand like a heap. In the daytime he led them with a cloud, and all the night with a fiery light. He cleft rocks in the wilderness and gave them drink abundantly as from the deep. He made streams come out of the rock and caused waters to flow down like rivers. That's Psalm 78. And Psalm 105, he opened the rock and water gushed forth. It flowed through the desert like a river, for he remembered his holy promise and Abraham his servant. So he led forth his people with joy, his chosen ones with singing. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 62, for God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. God only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly moved. Psalm 140, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the desolate pit, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Psalm 18, I love thee, O Lord. my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. Jesus, our rock and redeemer, in John 7, stands in the temple and proclaims, "If anyone thirst, let him come to me and drink. He who believes in me, as the Scriptures has said, out of his heart shall flow rivers of living water." Now he said this about the Spirit, which those who believed in him were to receive. And St. Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians 3, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being changed into his likeness from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." And finally, Psalm 114, "Tremble, O earth, at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the God of Jacob, who turns the rock into a pool of water, the flint into a spring of water."